Good morning, everybody. No, wait, I forgot to. Wait, hold on. I'm so bad at this, man. There we go. And then I tweet. Okay. Hello, everybody. Today, we are. Watch partying Alliance Angels versus Respawn Cats. Finally, they're on the mainstream for once. Ordinarily, we have to watch through like Rezora's POV, or we've done it through Aurelia's POV before, but today we finally get to do it through the mainstream, through Radiant's live stream. Yeah, so this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be exciting. We actually get to see the map. My plan right now is try and kind of solo cast, kind of. I don't know how well I'll be able to, because I am really tired. So we'll see how it goes. This is a qualifying match. Pistol round starts. Respawn Cats does start off with 2 kills. Alliance Angels was playing a little aggressive towards B main and got punished. Down 2. They are able to trade back 2 kills, but quickly those 2 are immediately traded back. It's just down to Lauren. In 1v3. Takes a bit of damage. Angel was holding that, backs up.
Careful. Camera taken out. Headshot.
Now able to take them out, but it's a 1v2. To face the wrath of Angel first, not ready for it, and Lauren will fall. So it's going to be 1-0 start for Respawn Cats, but not the worst thing in the world. I had the map picks at one point, but I believe I may have lost them. I do believe Haven is our map pick, is Alliance Angels map pick, and then Bind, which will be map 2, is Respawn Cats map pick. Now I don't know what map 3 is. I wasn't paying enough attention for that. But I have a very small amount of information. Angel is able to take out Lauren, who was holding from A link. It's going to be a 4-player flank as the Angels decide to wrap around. Balsar does have a really good lurk here. Could definitely catch a timing. Although the Angels may be aware, not quite looking, and that does allow Bazaar to get 1, although it's all that they're going to get. Enders and Rezora each get 2. Angel, though, not going to have any more of it. Now in a 3v1, and Enders in a 1v3. At this point, just try and find a pick or 2 and get out with your life. I like the idea there with the wraparound. Definitely found some success. You do get 2 kills. Respawn Cats does get the spike down, so it's not amazing, but could definitely be in a worse position here. As the Angels will get their opportunity here to bounce back as they move into anti-eco. Traditional round structure will take place. Yeah, so far Angel has been really, really good for Respawn Cats, which is a little bit worrying. Whenever a team's duelist is the one that's on, I get a little bit nervous, but hopefully it's okay. As do you see, looks like the Cats are going to want to take this towards C. They've got 4 here. They've got that lurk towards mid, making sure that they can maintain control of garage with that turret. And then there's an alarm bot over near A lobby, so Enders, who's pushing up there, might face a little bit of pushback. Lauren's barely spotted as she swings out there for a quick little check. Doesn't I mean, does get punished, but barely. And it does look like Respawn Cats is going to take the lack of real good util or info gathering rather to get out of there. Ender's spotted in a lobby, decides to back out. Hiding behind box here. Going to be ready to flash. And there we go. We have it. 1 kill's found. 2 kills are found. It's now a 3v5 for the Cats. Alliance Angels in a very good spot here. Flashes do come through. Angel with a Bulldog is able to take a nice shot out on Spec, but Rizora has something to say about it, able to find 2 more for their team. Angel will be able to trade them back. Again, that player that has definitely been heating up here for Respawn Cats, but it's a 1v3, able to get the spike. Alliance Angels are 3 stacked here on A, so they're actually going to have to take a bit of time here to get back around over towards C to get that spike down. Now, Respawn Cats are playing a very aggressive comp here. They have a pretty traditional composition, excluding, instead of having that Omen, they have that Clove. So that's going to allow them to be a little bit more aggressive and also force them to be a little bit more aggressive at the same time. Because you just don't have as much time to play around with those smokes compared to, you know, an Omen or a Brimstone. Alliance Angels are also kind of playing a little off meta, although Yoru ISO has become kind of a staple pick on Haven for quite a few teams now, and quite a few different levels. Angels not going to be able to find anything else. Tries to swing out with a wraparound through CT, but the Angels are a little too aware, and so that's going to be their first round. They get Respawn Cats do get 2 kills, and they get the spike down, so that's pretty much as much as you can hope for on a bonus there. So for Respawn Cats, they're in a pretty good spot here. Their eco's okay. They can get a full buy going. The Angels do lose 2, so that does put them in a little bit of an awkward spot here, right? You see a Guardian in the hands of Spec. You see Rizora having to go with that light shield. So it's a little bit of a tough spot, but 3 of their players do have some bonus eco to work with that they can carry into the next round. So it's a little awkward, but they should be okay, at least for now. And into this round, it's going to be mostly a full buy from both sides. And this will be the first real round to see which team is going to take the momentum moving forward. Lauren pushed way back out of sight. All of the util taken out of that C site. That camera's not there for them to destroy. The C site's been given up. Free site for Respawn Cats. No players lost for either side as that spike goes down. So Alliance Angels is going to have to figure out how to retake. They do have all 5 players. No ultimates, so too early in the game for that. So see how they're able to do. The Paranoia comes through. It's going to be pretty effective, but they're not going to play too much off of it. Rizora does swing through CT with a few others, able to take out Angel. Angle going to take out Lauren, but Spec, Enders, and Rizora each find 1. It's just down to Bazaar, who has decided to wrap around with the lurk from Garage, able to find 1. Not going to find anything else, though. Enders is going to take out Bazaar, and it is 3 players left alive for Alliance Angels to take a very dominant 4th round there to tie it up 2-2. Or round 4 there, rather, not 4th round. That kind of implies that they got their 4th round, which they didn't. You know what I mean. So big win there. Very, very, very big win. And we'll see how Respawn Cats does respond. The other respond. They are going to be forcing up here. One of their players is stuck on a sheriff, but the majority of them do have guns, so they do want to bounce back off of this. If they lose this, it's going to be punishing, and Alliance Angels do have quite a few ultimates to work with to try and back them off of this. They have that Hunter's Fury, they have the kill contract, they have the Dimensional Drift. They've got a lot to work with here. You do see the flash come out, blinding Angel in back sight, so not going to be able to clear that out very effectively. But C-site has been given up. Alliance Angels has actually opted to not put any trips on that site, so they weren't even necessarily worried about it. They kind of did just give it up. Rizora playing in garage window, going to find 1. There's 3 players here they're going to have to deal with. 1 coming through doors and 2 coming through that link towards C. Spec and Aurelia each able to find 1, though, after Rizora falls. So that's going to keep it a 2-player advantage for Alliance. Spec's going to take out Angle. It's a 1v4 for Pickles. Can't find anything else. Ender's going to shut them down. So it's 4 players left alive, and that's a very big round for Alliance Angels. Now, they did end up using that Hunter's Fury and that Dimensional Drift, so they are just left with that kill contract coming out of that round. But I would argue it doesn't matter because that was a round that Respawn Cats was really trying to win. They had a decent amount of guns to work with. Now they actually have a decent amount of guns to work with again. They're forcing again, although this time they all have guns except for 1 who has a Bulldog. So maybe even a little better to buy this time around with which to work. So we'll see how they end up playing this one out. So it's going to kind of be a non-stop battle for Alliance Angels, although they have been able to secure a decent amount of eco because they've just been remaining with so many players left alive on each of these round wins. Oz does take out Enders, and then a trade comes through. Rizora is going to find 2 more, still sticking this out, finds another 4. Can she get the ace? She kill contracts, tries to go for it, health reset, has the double tap active, and they're gonna get it. Rizora is going to find the ace onto Bazaar, and it's a 4-2 lead for Alliance Angels, who have begun to pretty much decimate Respawn Cats, who looked like they were going to be taking a pretty momentous lead to start off the map with that 2-round win streak off of that pistol round, but they could not carry anything else further. And their eco's now pretty much shot. They are still forcing some players. It's actually a really interesting strategy. I haven't seen very many teams do this in Game Changers, especially, where they are kind of trying to get as much of a buy as they can each round while still allowing their next round to have a little bit of a buy. So they're kind of half buying every single round, which obviously isn't going to be good for long-term economy. It's kind of a very short-term plan, but if you can get a good round in there, it kind of allows you to immediately bounce back, and it gives you a good chance to get that good round in there. Stinger comes through, going to be enough to take out Aurelia, not before Pickles falls, so Oz has to trade it off. Angle is able to take out Spec, though, so that does mean Respawn Kits actually has the advantage, and they've got guns to work with, and Angel's going to use it to take out Rizora, who can't find anything in that A-Link spot. It's just down to 2, Enders and Lauren. Lauren coming in through that C-Link, and Enders, who's all the way in A-Long, very, very far pushed back. Now, Spec hasn't actually gone down on B, so Enders is going to stick here with this operator, just in case that Spike ends up coming over to A, but it doesn't, so going to have to rotate over. It's planted for A-Link. And we're going to see Enders coming in through main, and again, Lauren coming through C-Link. Dodges the dart. There is a turret right here that Enders is dancing around. It actually looks like they're going to opt to save, just don't have enough time. They didn't find anything that they wanted to. Had Respawn Cats decided to go over to A, Alliance Angels probably would have been able to find something, but they don't here. And we're going to see a round win for Respawn Cats, which is very well needed round win for Respawn Cats, because they've just been putting so much eco into every round and haven't been getting anything out. So now they do. The half buy pays off. They're able to find some good damage, and they get away with it. Enders does hold on to the operator, and Alliance Angels had a pretty stable eco coming off of the 4-round win streak that took them to this now 4-3 lead, but what was a 4-2 lead. So they are going to be able to get a full buy going still, and they should have another one next round and maybe even the round after that. So they're not too worried right now in terms of economy. We're going to see, now that Respawn Cats has economy of their own, which you can see they're trying to bonus as well as they can with that light shield. They do have an Odin in their hands to play this offense with, which is going to be interesting. It's in the hands of the Sova, of course. You can use that recon darts. Trip's going to be taken out in that B main entrance. There is still a Trip backside very deep in C, so the only way that that's going to find any action is if Respawn Cats pushes very deep onto that C site, which probably won't happen. Looks like a very hefty, like, mid stack here for Alliance Angels. Really, the only play that isn't playing mid is Enders, who's in that A short with the operator, hoping to find any action. And Respawn Cats is just backing up. They weren't really able to find anything. They did get Alliance Angels to use some util, who are still just stalling out here, not sure what to do yet. My bad. Rizora thought about maybe checking over towards C, doesn't though. And Enders, who is waiting very patiently in A short, does find something. And the team's going to start to rotate over off of that. But the Rolling Thunder comes through. It's going to push them back. And now we have a lockdown in short, which Alliance Angels have no ultimates to work with in order to take that out. So there's no counter ult to come through. The Alliance Angels are in a very tough spot here. In fact, no, not quite. Oh, yep, they did. We did see a detain come through. I believe it was Aurelia who got detained. And that does mean Retake's going to have to stall out just a bit, but now they can start coming through. Enders is in heaven with this operator. Hoping to find something. Angel does smoke them off with the Cloudburst. We'll see if anything else can be found. Ender's just find one, but Pickles has the lineup. Gonna get a collateral headshot. One more for 3, and Angel is going to take out Ender's. Pickles just once more going to find a 4th onto Aurelia, and it's a very unfortunate loss for Alliance Angels to make it tied 4-4. So, not the best spot to be in, but Alliance Angels can work with this. They do still have that eco, as I touched on earlier, and they actually have enough that they're going to want Enders to not force necessarily, but get another operator. So we do have a full buy with an operator in the hands of Enders. We also have a full buy on the side of Respawn Cats, obviously, because they did just win. Pickles had a massive round there. That's definitely going to be good to keep Respawn in this for a minute and get their momentum moving towards their favor. Ooh, Angel does fall, but Razor is there to get a nice headshot. Or sorry, Enders does fall, but Razor is there to get a nice headshot onto Angel. There you go. Now it's a 4v4. And it's going to be a bit of a stall out here as Respawn Cats can't take too much space towards mid. They have been given a little bit that they can take. That trip's pretty deep into garage, and Oz is actually going to be able to get that Sova drone all the way through, and they know where that trip is. Just going to break with a shock dart. Lauren coming through with the flank. Barely going to catch them off guard, although it looked like maybe they were ready for it. So Lauren's able to find a pick on an angle, but Oz is ready to trade it back. So it's still a traded 3v3. Full teams for both sides, or even teams for both sides. I guess they're not full. Ooh, good paranoia, but Pickle's just gonna crouch spray. Why not? Aurelia is going to fall off of that. Good vulnerable plus suppression from the undercut, and Oz is still gonna trade Razora back. Spec takes out one, takes out another. Gonna have to find another kill onto a freshly ulted Pickles, who is back alive and in the running, but Spec's not gonna let it happen. Not going to get that kill there for Pickles. Spec's with the 3K. Spec gets away with it. Another impressive clutch round. Previous series had one of those. Has had a few of those in this tournament already. In both the 3rd and 4th qualifier. That's the IGL, who actually used to just be an analyst for the team. Wasn't even on the team. Had to come in. Quick last minute sub. Coming into the previous open qualifiers. They didn't end up taking the qualification, but Spec did put up a pretty impressive performance, and that has continued into this qualifier, and that continues into today as well with 2 very impressive clutch rounds. It's going to be 5-4 scoreline here, although immediately this round does not go off well for Alliance Angels, as they're going to be down 1 player. Lauren can't get out, a little afraid, just backs up, ends up getting taken out by Bazaar. There's a player coming in through garage windows. Razor is not ready, nobody watching them, and Spec's going to take out Bazaar for a trade, but it's a 1v3. Can Spec make magic happen again? Hunter's Fury is in hand, no ultimates in hand of Respawn Cats, so there is a chance here for something to happen. Gotta make sure no players holding close. I was gonna say they're breaking trips, but there's no trips there. Spec is still testing a little bit. Does want to try and see if they can find something. Maybe not a round win, but at least a kill or 2. One way comes through. Blind's gonna come through. Spec's ready for it. Dodges it. Nobody's in garage, but a little worried that they might have to deal with somebody in garage. Just gonna try and stick it. Not gonna find anything. Just gonna get taken out in that one way. Not a bad attempt. But not exactly where Alliance Angels want to be. They definitely kind of lost some of their fundamentals there. They definitely panicked with how quickly Respawn Cats was able to find that player advantage. And I think that's something Alliance Angels does very well, is they're pretty good at, you know, playing well with the numbers that they have when they have that numbers advantage. They don't throw rounds usually. That was a round where they just lost some players quickly and didn't know what else to do after that. And Respawn Cats just pushed them too quickly for the Angels to counter effectively. And Respawn Cats takes a good round win there. Ooh, player in the corner isn't actually cleared out, but Bazaar's ready. Spec's able to get through there. Pickles does take out Razora. It's going to be a 3v5. Angel's able to take out Lauren. Ender's just kind of right-click Oz there. Angel's able to trade them off, although they do get that kill first. Now, Pickles is low if Aurelia wants to find a nice kill here, but Pickles obviously going to be playing very safe. They have an idea that Aurelia is flank here, so it's going to be tough, especially with an operator in tow for Angel. Not going to find much there. 3 health left. At this point, Aurelia just going to play to at least attempt to die to the spike. Maybe find a kill or two if you can. TP into the corner here. Try and get out with your life. And they just revealed their position to the player who's right below them. Completely unaware is Aurelia, who's going to end up losing the round. So it's 5-6. Alliance Angels down 1. All good. All good. Defensive half. 5 rounds is all they need, realistically. If they can get one more, that's even better. Especially because Alliance Angels tends to really thrive on their offense. They have really good set plays going into rounds that they're very good at executing. Defense tends to be where they actually struggle more, although past few times I've seen them on this map, they haven't necessarily shown that. 4 ultimates in tow for this last round for Alliance Angels. Only 1 for Respawn Cats with that Blade Storm. We may not even see it come out, although there is an operator in the hands of Angel who has that Blade Storm, so very good chance we do see it come out, but it's one of those situational ultimates, meaning Alliance Angels has some good ultimates that they can use to try and secure the round. Respawn Cats doesn't really, is kind of my point there. Okay, so we're going to see Respawn Cats. They do have 2 players inserted very deep into short, holding a very nice cross here, hoping somebody from Alliance Angels pushes into them, which they won't. Meanwhile, the rest of Respawn Cats trying to make their way up towards C, which Alliance Angels has kind of figured out, leaning over towards that side, although it looks like they are willing to give it up and play retake. But Respawn Cats is going to be attempting to push into this A site. Camera from Lauren there, going to spot out Angel, who does have that Blade Storm active. They actually don't have that operator like I thought they did. Just on a Vandal, so that Blade Storm is not even as useful as I thought it would be there. So Sphere has gotten up though off of that orb grab down C long. The Respawn Cats does have a little bit more to play with than they did coming into the round. And Hunter's Fury actually going to come out from Alliance Angels. It's going to be good for 1 onto Angle. Lauren's able to take out Angel, and then another kill with the Hunter's Fury onto Pickles, and now it's a 2v5 for Respawn Cats. Oz will be able to take out Enders for a bit of a trade, but kill contract comes through onto Bazaar, and Razora wins it. Hyungwon Ho, Lauren going to take out Oz, and it's a 6-6 half. Pretty much exactly where we want to be here. As our Respawn Cats 6 rounds, Alliance Angels 6 rounds. Both teams look pretty solid there in that first half. I think Alliance Angels had a lot of really decent rounds. Respawn Cats had a lot of really decent rounds. Obviously, Alliance Angels had that big 4-round win streak that sort of started off a lot of their momentum early on. Respawn Cats didn't really quite have it figured out how to counter that for a good minute there, but they realized if they just play a little bit more decisively, they can take out Alliance Angels pretty easily. In that last round, they didn't play necessarily as decisively. Plus, Alliance Angels had a lot of those ultimates to work with, so they were kind of able to shut them down. We'll see now that we switch sides what Alliance Angels has cooking up. I did say this is kind of an offense-sided team with the way that they like to play this side of the half. Pickles is able to find an easy pick onto Lauren to start it off. Bazaar then finds another onto Enders. Aurelia does trade it back, but Angle and Oz each find one. Specs alone, gonna get shot in the back. And there you go. Oz going to take out Spec, who's just unaware. Bad comms there. And it's going to be a 7-6 lead for Respawn Cats. Not a great start for Alliance Angel, but that's okay. It's all okay. 7-6 for Respawn Cats. They are going to go ahead and get an anti-eco going. Gonna force up those guns. Pretty much exactly what you want to do every time you win pistol. And Respawn Cats is going to do the same. Alliance Angels will not be forcing to try and get an unexpected round back. They don't need to. It's 6-6 half. It's pretty equal. We saw them lose the pistol in the previous half, and they also weren't really that good at winning pistols in the previous qualifier either. And they won quite a few of those maps, so I'm not too worried here. Bazaar is able to take out Enders and gets another as well. Spec's going to take out Bazaar for a trade, but after a bit of an exchange, Lauren's able to find one, but it just leaves Aurelia, and Aurelia is not going to find anything else. So 2 kills, no spike down. Not a great eco there for Alliance Angels, but they do find 2, and they're of course going to be able to buy now, as they did eco the previous round. Enders is going to be on a Stinger. Never mind, switch up, upgrade to the Guardian. It's going to be the attempt now for Alliance Angels to bounce back. They did this in the first half pretty successfully. They won the anti-bonus or the full buy after that anti-eco where Respawn Cats was on bonus, and they did it pretty decisively, then went on to win 3 more to make it a 4-2 start into that half. So hopefully for Alliance Angels, they're able to get that going again. Ooh. Attempted an outlaw shot there from Angel, just misses. Even get pinged with a dart. We do have one close with Bucky. Doesn't spot them out. Us has snuck in here and may meet Lauren at some point. Us keeps hearing this cam go off and is very interested in making sure their team kind of stays near this side of the map. Alliance Angels has mostly backed out of there, though. It is only Lauren there. Spike, though, is near towards that A lobby side in their spawn. Smoked off on B. So Alliance Angels doesn't get much out of this round so far. Hasn't found too much info other than that early info onto the outlaw positioned on A. And it looks like now that's exactly where they want to take it. Oz is still in this corner, has been sitting here the entire round, and I can almost guarantee you gonna get away with a kill here, and they do. And that's a weapon upgrade as well onto the Vandal. Resora immediately going to downgrade them, though, to death. Didn't even matter that they had the shield there. A shot didn't even come off from Oz, and now it's a 4v4. Health is very low for Resora, though, off of the site take. Spike does go down, though, so it's going to be an attempt at a retake. As soon as the smoke drops, they go for it. Player in Graffiti. Resora going to find 2. Bizarre finds another. Resora's on for the ace, but does get taken out by Bizarre after getting 4. It's a 1v2 now for Bizarre. Very winnable round. There are some guns to be left for them, but they stick with the Bulldog. Tap. Not aware that there's a player back site, almost assuredly. And nope, not going to be ready for it. Enders is going to take out Bizarre, and it's an 8-7 lead still for Respawn Cats, but Alliance Angels does get away with their bye round win. It's very close, as it does get down to losing the majority of their players, which is good for Respawn Cats, but Alliance Angels definitely gets the better end of that deal there, just in the sense that they're able to get that spike down as well as get the win, even if they do lose some more of their players. They aren't able to quite get a full buy going. They want to keep some of their eco maintained, so there are going to be 2 players on a bit of a forced buy, awkward buy with a Guardian and a Bulldog, but the majority of their players do have guns with which to work. Respawn Cats, of course, going to be on a full buy off of that bonus, which they did lose, but of course, it's a bonus, so they get their eco up anyway. Oz does take out Enders. Angel's very close, doesn't get spotted by the drone. Angel's able to get 2 before going down, so although Resort and Spec each get trade picks, it's not enough, as it's going to be respawned with a player advantage here. 3v2. As map comes to a standstill, Respawn Cats has 2 on A. Only 1 player left alone towards that C side, but it's Killjoy. You've got the Nanostorm holding down that C main. Of course, the alarm bot in garage, and then the turret with which to find some info down C long. She looks like Spec might trip up here with a quick swing if they do it. Meanwhile, a push up in towards B has happened for Aurelia, who might be trying to find some distance here. Just back out, not able to find anything. Beck still leaning over towards that C side, whiffs a dart, it looks like, and decides it's time to back up. Respawn Cats, you can see, has completely backed out of that A site. They're very ready to rotate over towards C. Or they're ready for a swing out of A or something, or out of B. That's what they're doing. They're watching in case somebody comes out of that B to A link, which they have left open. But it's going to be an A site plant, which is good for Alliance Angels. They get that spike down, but it'd be even better if they can secure the win. So 2v3. Spec wants to play aggressively here. Not going to find anything. Angle punishes. 1v3 now for Aurelia, who's playing in hell. Able to find nothing, actually, as they're going to fall to Pickles. A bit of bottle spraying there by Bizarre, as the spike is going to be diffused. So Respawn Cats finds themselves up 2 rounds here, as it's not looking great for Alliance Angels. They've been struggling all of these rounds. If I'm Spec, or not Spec, who am I thinking of? Nitsu. I'm calling a timeout here for the Angels, and there you go. Gonna try and figure themselves out. They've been making a lot of mistakes in the sense that they're kind of just losing themselves a little bit a lot of the time. Pushing out, getting punished in stupid ways, right? Like that round, for example, where you saw Angel able to just push out of that A short smoke and swing out and find 2 kills. That just shouldn't have happened. That's not something you should be allowing to happen at this level of play. And unfortunately for Alliance Angels, they did. So small stuff like that where you're kind of preventing the respawn cats from gaining as much space as they are early and finding those early picks. Alliance Angels needs to have kind of control over the map, especially early on, and they're kind of losing it very early on. So trying to deny that, I think, would help them a lot. So respawn cats. Meanwhile, going to try and figure out how they continue to dominate Alliance Angels. Probably talk a little bit about some of the mistakes that they've made and kind of giving up some of those early picks occasionally, or not quite able to secure some of those round wins that should be there. So some small stuff to talk about for them, but Alliance Angels is the one calling it, and there's a reason for it. So they're going to have some time to figure themselves out. We'll see what they end up deciding to do. It looks like off of this, they're going to try and hit through mid. 3 players leaning towards a window, although it actually might be a Lauren pushing in towards A. Maybe just a cam for vision. Trip to deny vision, rather. 4 players are stacked here on B for respawn cats. It's a good read, and Angle's going to be rewarded. Lauren is able to find 1. Razora as well. Each of those are traded off. Or trades, rather. Trading off picks that respawn cats has found onto them. So it's a 3v3. But considering that they are on an eco, this is actually a pretty good outcome so far. There's a kill contract and Hunter's Fury available for Alliance Angels if they want to use it, but both of those are likely going to be situations where they have to get that spike down first. And off of those 2 picks, they didn't get to pick up any guns, which is not great for them. They're going to be stuck on this low buy. 2 stingers. And a classic. That's all they have. Razora throws out the undercut, hits both of their teammates. No util for them with the detain, or suppress rather. And now the retake begins. Going to be pretty swift here. Pickle's going to take out Lauren. Becky is able to find 1, immediately traded out. Razora attempts to trade back Pickles, and they do. Although they do just ult, and that spike will be defused in time. Never mind. Pickles will die. Thought maybe they had enough time. Not quite. So Pickles is going to pass away there. So it's just 1 player left for respawn. But although it's good damage for the Angels, not a round win. It is an eco, though. They got the spike down. They killed all but 1. It's a pretty solid eco. So they do walk away with a decent amount. Plus, they do still have those 3 ultimates. They have Neural Theft. They have Hunter's Fury. They have Kill Contract. All 3 of those can be extremely powerful. Of course, Neural Theft is one of those situational ults. I'd have to get a kill first. But can still be a massive player in the round. Playing a little bit more standard, a play where you see Lauren taking good control of that mid and then that A lobby while the rest of the team pushes in towards C. This is a pretty standard hit, and it's a free site. So Spike does get to go down. Angel's waiting in garage, though, for somebody to push through, which does end up happening, and they get a kill before getting traded off. Oz, meanwhile, with the Hunter's Theory, going to find 1. Hunter's Fury, rather. I don't know, I said Theory. Bazaar's going to take out Aurelia, though, who's on site trying to get that Spike down. 2 kills do come through for the trade, though, from Alliance Angels. So it's a 2v2. Spike is in the hands of the Cats. The Angel's going to have to figure out some way to get back in this. Ooh, Pickle's not quite on the head, and Lauren's going to be on the head. So it's a 1v2 for Angle. They have an idea at where they are, both string at the same time, and Angle just completely caught out, doesn't even get away with 1. So big win there for Alliance Angels, especially coming out of that timeout to get that eco round where they kill all but 1 and get that spike down, and then they find a very impactful round win off of that with a full buy. That's going to be big for them. So 8-10 is big. And Ats are going to be on a bit of an awkward buy here. So that's good for the Angels as well. They do still have that Hunter's Fury. They also have that from the Shadows, a very situational ult. So we'll see if that ends up coming out. But it could be an impactful one. Lockdown is in the hands of Respawn Cats. So they may be inclined to play retake. Although here, going to play a little bit more aggressively. Enders, who has been caught out by their own team's undercut, again, is going to not be punished, able to find 2 before going down, but the Cats decisively shut down Alliance Angels, who aren't able to find anything. An immediate shutdown to what could have been a swing of momentum in the favor of Angels. We're going to remain down 3 rounds. Not good for Alliance Angels. And again, this is their map pick as well. Although the next map is Respawn Cat's map pick is Bind, which Alliance Angels, I don't believe, have lost yet in this tournament. I could be lying. Actually, I might be lying. Let me double check. But I don't think they have. No, I don't think they have. They have not. They have not lost Bind yet in this tournament. So it's a really good map for them. Especially for Zora, who just turns into a different player on Deadlock. Ooh, Angle gets that pick onto Enders. That could have been a good trade opportunity as they were blinded, but it's not. And the Cats just shut them all down. No entry into B, not even a little bit. And that's going to be a complete shutdown. Alliance Angels go down 8-12. They're going to have to win 4 in a row to take it to overtime. And Nitsu understands the dire need for a bit of a comeback start here. Now, they did win 4 in a row in that first half off of losing the first 2 rounds. So they have won 4 in a row already this map. There's an opportunity here. They do have 3 ults to work with. They have that dimensional drift, which can be an immediate round win in some cases, just the amount of info it can provide, especially if you've got a player like Enders who can just turn on at any moment and shut down. But they are struggling a lot here to just find early leeway. That previous round, for example, they kind of just tried to rush into B and got shut down. They're not really able to play the map very much. When they do, they kind of lose players. And I imagine after the previous timeout that the Alliance Angels took, that's something they talked about, is the fact that they can't really play the map because they end up losing players. So then they kind of decided to go for a bit of a more aggressive playstyle, but that also hasn't been working out. It worked out well on their pistol, or on their eco rather, coming out of the previous timeout. And then following that, they did look pretty decent, but and get that round win. But since then, not a whole lot of good looking. Now they are going to push towards C this round, which is actually good for them because Respawn Cats has done a gamble stack towards A. And to be fair, they have had some really good reads. Alarmbot in Garage is going to be spot out here by this dimensional drift, and the dimensional drift allows the Alliance Angels to get a free site. And this is what I'm talking about when I say sometimes the dimensional drift can mean a free round win, because it just gives you so much good info. In that case, it's a free round win. Bazaar does end up getting a pick onto Razora, winging through Garage. Oh, Lauren needed to get that kill there, barely trying to escape with her life. Does though. She's getting chased down here. This is good stall time, though. Specs able to take it off in the meanwhile. Although Lauren does get stunned, she has been able to stall out the opponents, rather. Oh my god. Ender's just going to get punished by Bazaars. As Respawn Cats was able to retake mid there and take that space, they were kind of enabled to have it. Aurelia is very ready to play this aggressively and does, and finds 2. It's a 2v1. Angel can't find anything coming out of Garage, and that's going to be a massive round win for Alliance Angels, who now just need 3 in a row to take it to overtime. So big few rounds there for Alliance Angels. And they still have 3 ults remaining. That Neural Theft came up. That Hunter's Fury is up. And that From the Shadows is still up. It's been up, but it's still an option if they can figure out a good way to use it. Interesting. Enders is actually going to play Stinger and Full Shield. Never mind. I was going to say, they got to get a buy in there at some point. That's what I was saying. It was interesting. You guys have money. Don't throw it. So 9-12. Bit of an aggressive push here in towards Garage. Both duelists coming in. Enders and Razora. Razora's been inserted. Enders is TP'd out as they start to move actually over towards A, where Oz has started to push up towards Long to maybe try and take some space. They're going to have to be swung here. They do get out in time before they get flashed, so they're going to be able to alert their team to the A presence. Playing in this smoke. They are paranoid. They have to shoot the trip. They're able to take out Lauren. Enders, though, going to come up behind them, take them out. Spike does get to go down here. The site will be taken by Alliance Angels, but a very quick retake could come through. Hunter's Fury is available for a post plant. Enders tries to play some aggression in towards CT. Doesn't get anything. Bazaar tries or sorry, is able to take out Razora, who tried to flank after being inserted into Garage. It's shut down to Spec, nearly whiffs the shot. 32 HP, 1v1, has to get it, and they do. Another clutch round from Spec, as they will take it to 10-12 to continue what needs to be a total of a 4-round comeback, just 2 rounds away, as Spec gets a huge 1v2 clutch there. And Cat's eco starting to dwindle a little bit. Gonna have to make an awkward force spy happen. No ults in hand for Respawn Cats. I imagine if they lose this one, they take a timeout, try and figure things out. Lions Angels have 2 ults of their own. They've got that Neural Theft. They have the From the Shadows. Although, I do think Respawn Cats does end up taking a timeout after this round, which they've actually ended up going for a half buy again, like they were kind of in that first half, where they were just trying to get as much of a buy together as they could, even after losing a few rounds in a row. Seems like that's what they've done again here. What I was going to say is that Respawn Cats does take a timeout off of this. They actually may be helping Alliance Angels out quite a bit, because they'll get to meet with their coach as well. I think in a comeback situation like that, that could be very necessary. Oz does get some damage off with the shock darts coming from Heaven. Manages to get the drone out and get a nice ping onto Enders. Does some wallbang damage as well. Aurelia and Graffiti could be a very easy pick for Respawn Cats with the right bit of util. 5v5 retake. Neural Theft is in the hands of Alliance Angels. No pick with which to benefit from it yet. Aurelia's caught out in Graffiti. Razora is able to trade Bazaar off after getting the pick, though. Angel finds a pick with the Sheriff. Spec trades it off. Player coming from Heaven going to be taken out. Pickles does manage to find 1, but traded off by Razora, who find 3 on the round. But it is 1 round away. Sorry, but Alliance Angels did lose 3 rounds on the way. Thank you for the 1 bit, Eddie. I appreciate it. Did lose 3 on the way, which isn't great, but their eco has managed to stabilize enough over the 3-round win streak. 3-round win streak that it doesn't matter too much, although Spec doesn't get full shields here. There's a kill contract and still that Neural Theft online. Respawn Cats just needs 1 round to take the map. Alliance Angels not going down without a fight, though. They just need 1 round, and Respawn Cats does not take that timeout off of losing that round. So they actually, I don't think they've used a single timeout this entire map. They're very happy to just play the way that they are. And to be fair, they are playing well. And that kill contract can be a massive ult here if they can find somewhere to use it. Razor thought about just using it right off the bat in towards that garage window, but nobody was there. Ender's just going to find a pick for free over in towards that C-Link. Lauren going to be able to spot out Oz here. And Razor peeks out from garage just in time. Oz tried to wide swing into Lauren, but Razor is ready. Counter it. It's going to be a 5v3. Never mind. Spec going to make it a 5v2, which is now a 4v2, 4v1. It's getting confusing. Pickles is able to ult. Spec's down. Sorry, Spec has gotten 3 kills. There you go. I was going to say down to 3 kills. That doesn't make sense. Spec going to find a 4th. It's more than enough as Spec just continues to find kill after kill after kill each round. And Spec needs to step up. They do. The best IGL in this tournament just continues to make their presence known. And it's going to be a tied 12-12 as we go into overtime and the sides change. Timeouts reset. Teams now get the opportunity to use them if they need them. This match between Alliance Angels and Respawn Cats, 2 of the favorites coming into this qualifier. Round 4. 2 of the favorited teams meeting up here in a qualifier match in the upper bracket of the closed qualifier to make it to the Swiss stage are not disappointing. Alliance Angels have to lock in for this one. Lauren trying to get some early vision down C. Immediately going to be denied. The cam destroyed. They don't know the exact amount here, but it's loud and it's fast. As Respawn Cats aggressively takes this C site, and Alliance Angels has no choice but to back up and let them have it. So Spike does get to go down here. Hunter's Fury going to be 1 ult point away from coming up. So just 1 kill. And we're going to have Oz with the Hunter's Fury. 2 players here. Positioned in a cross here. In garage window. How ready are they for it? Not at all. Aurelia is just completely unaware. Razor is able to find 2 though as Pickles takes out Aurelia. Razor trades with the 2-for-1 special. Ender's going to take out Pickles and Angle, who are both sitting there in garage. It's just down to Bizarre playing from long. Able to find 1. Needs a few more. Able to take out Razor. Looking for the 1v2 clutch. Able to take out Lauren. It's a 1v1. Lockdown available, but not going to be necessary here. And Spec just going to take out Bazaar. There's still time to defuse. No questions asked, as Alliance Angels does take that round. It comes down to it. Alliance Angels look like they might just be willing to throw it away, but they don't. Respawn Cat's going to have to come back from behind. 5 rounds in a row that they have lost to Alliance Angels, who ever since taking that timeout towards the latter half of that second half, after being down 8-12, they've just continued to decimate since then. 5 in a row, 13-12. They've looked pretty much unstoppable, although for those few rounds where it kind of gets close there, like in that previous round, Respawn Cats does have some mistakes that they could punish, but they end up making mistakes of their own there, like getting caught out in garage like they did in that previous round. That could have been a good position for them. It allowed them to get that free kill onto Aurelia, but then they ended up being the free picks to the hands of Enders. Operator in the hands of Angel has decided to forego the shield in exchange for an op, and it does end up paying off as they get the kill onto Enders, looking for another. Who cares about the $4,700 gun? Just pull out the classic, get one onto Spec. Pickles takes out Rizora. It's a 2v5, and very quickly the offensive round for Alliance Angels in this overtime has completely broken down. Although Lauren finds that one, it's a 2v4, health low for Lauren. Half health for Pickles could be an easy pick if somebody can find the right places to shoot their gun. Aurelia just continuing to try to aggress the C side. I don't know how I feel about this. Pickles is low. Could be a free pick. Doesn't find the shots, though. Completely misses. Big whiff there, and Pickles is able to take them out. Going to be a 1v4. Decides to just take the ping, and that's a horrible decision. Just going to get sprayed through that box. Nothing you can do there. That 2v4 does not go the way of Alliance Angels. Probably should have backed out there, in my opinion. But, you know, I'm not the coach. We'll see what they decide to do now. As they did end up getting that defensive round win, which was very good for them. They could not come away with the offensive round win, which was the half that they were getting that massive win streak to close out the half on. So losing that's not going to be good for them. You can't lose a half that you had all that momentum on. It was a 6-6 half at both sides, so that does mean that neither team succeeded on one side over the other. So it really could go either way in each given round based off of previous performance, although that doesn't always dictate future performance. As Respawn Cats does end up working their way, looks like over towards C. They just want to take control of mid. And again, they're running a pretty standard composition here. When you have this Killjoy, you can play that alarm bot in A and then put that turret in mid and then kind of just play wherever you want off of that because it gives you good control of the map. But of course, Alliance Angels looking to deny that. Not going to, though. Oh my god, they give up 2 free picks. Enders and Spec with huge whiffs. That's going to be massive for Respawn Cats, who, without taking even a little bit of damage, although maybe a little bit has been done there, but mostly no damage. They're just going to have a fun time on the map. Oh, Rizora's been completely caught out there. Spotted out multiple times by that dart. Lauren and Rizora both go down. It's down to Aurelia in a 1v5. What can you find? Nanostorm destroyed, and that's going to be about it. Not sure where to look for Aurelia, and they go down. So 13-4, Alliance Angels going to need to win a big one to keep the overtime alive. This is Alliance Angels map pick. You do not want to throw this, and I said it earlier, but the timeouts have been refreshed, and Nitsu wants to use one here to make sure they don't throw this round. They did lose that previous round, their most recent round when they were on the attacking half in that second round of overtime. So you do want to make sure that you don't lose it again here. I think they're doing so pretty effectively. Going to try and figure out how they prevent just losing in the way that they did. The damage is really, really massive very quickly for Respawned Cats in that round where Alliance Angels tried to push towards C and they just didn't get anything. Also, they were in a 2v4 and the two players could have backed out of C and just didn't. Decided to continue aggressing way too quickly. Didn't even play out time. Maybe hope some of the attackers or the defenders leave rather. They just kept pushing, and that, of course, not going to work out for them. So for Alliance Angels, they do need to get in a bit of a better position. Surely they shouldn't be in that 2v4 in the first place, but if they were, could have played it a little differently is my point here. In this round, though, they're, of course, or in this timeout, they're, of course, going to be talking about how they just maintain as many players as possible. And it looks like they want to maybe default a little bit. You got Rizora. Looks like maybe want to lurk up towards C, maybe grab that old Torb and get out of there. They know that Respawn Cats doesn't like to peek long very often. Not something they do pretty frequently, although looks like that might be something that's going to happen here. No, it's just another Nanoswarm. Ooh, actually, just to throw that barrier down to push forward and see if they can block any vision. Maybe just make some noise. Angel gonna push out, get a kill with the op, trying to get away though, pulls out the knives, and those specs waiting to trade. So operator down. Trades are better for the offensive team, as it does mean that Respawn Cats has less players wherever the players on the offense end up going. It's a harder rotate for them as well. So good early for Alliance, although very barely, as they did lose Enders, who can be a very key piece in taking space early into their site aggression, which they haven't started yet, so gonna have to do it without their core duelist. Lauren has inserted herself in towards this B cubby, but nobody's here. In fact, B site's completely open. Not that Alliance Angels will find that information out. We do actually see them heading over towards A once again, where they started the round. This is really interesting. Respawn Cats is actually mostly backed out. They're very worried about this B site. But now that they hear the smokes going down, it's going to be an A defense here. They're going to try and prevent the site take. Rayleigh is able to take out Austin. Immediately traded back, though. And then it's going to be traded back with even more. Rizora and Lauren both finding one. So it's a 1v3. Spike goes down, which is 7 seconds left. Bazaar is going to be in a 1v3. Shock Dart comes through. Another Shock Dart comes through. Able to take out Spec, who was doing the damage with the Shock Darts, but Lauren's ready for the trade. Swinging at a short, and they're going to find it. So another round of OT we go, as the first map is not disappointing in the slightest.
One of my cameras is broken. Oh, wait.
Somehow, some way, this map just keeps going. Rizora has 29 kills. Spec, the IGL for Alliance Angels, has 28. They're both nearly about to drop 30 here, and they could very well do it in this round. And these next 2 rounds, they have to play 2 more rounds, so there's even better chance here that they do it. And Respawn Cats is just going to try and take another decisive offensive rounds. Both of these teams so far have just traded back, win their defense, and then the other one wins the defense, and then they win the offense, and the other one wins the offense. Both teams just trading back and forth. Neither team has really been able to successfully completely figure out the other team yet in this overtime. Clearly, because we're still here. As you do see Respawn Cats able to just take a free C site. Why not? Now this team is going to try to get countered, as they've mostly taken garage space. The Aftershock is attempting to clear out the garage window. Rizora still able to find one, and then gets out with their live. Enders and Spec each going to find one. Angel's able to take out Spec to try and slow it down, but Rizora is right there to trade. 4v1. Alliance Angels trying to look for the spike diffusal. Can Bazaar play enough time? No, they cannot. The spike will get diffused. There's enough time. 14-14 is the half. Sorry, 15-14 is the half. As we go into what will be another Alliance Angels offensive half. And Rizora has dropped 30. In fact, 32 off of that round. Spec one away from 30 of their own. Both having very impressive games here, as the rest of the team isn't quite finding the firepower they would have wanted. But clearly it's been enough to keep it this close. The question is, will it be enough to take them over the edge? As Angel, once again, going to sacrifice the shield in exchange for an operator. We're going to see Alliance Angels defaulting a little bit here. Looks like they might know that that operator's a possibility, so they just wanted to make sure that they don't find it. Looked like maybe a set play was going to be attempted over towards A, but that smoke by Aurelia does a really good job of just denying that operator from finding anything short. And then Alliance Angels redirects over towards C. Rizora finds one onto Bazaar. Pickles trades it back. Not going to find much else, though, as Spec finds their way pretty easily through garage and onto C site. Spike's going to go down. And it's time to play post plant. No ults in tow for either team. Owl Drone does spot one. Counter Owl Drone coming out, trying to get one through garage. Drone's still up, Austin. They're going to get spotted. So they know there's one in garage. Aurelia's going to find one. Ender's going to find one. But the firepower, going to trade both back. Spike's getting held. Spike's getting held, but it doesn't matter as they just spray through and find both. It's going to be 2 players left alive. The Alliance Angels take map 1, 16-14 in the qualifying match, the qualifying series. in the upper bracket of the VCT Game Changers 2025 Open Qualifiers number 4, the final Open Qualifiers, and both of these teams want to win it really, really badly. Huge win for Alliance Angels. That's their map pick. That's a map they need to win. If there's a map you need to win, it is almost certainly that one. And Rizora and Spec both had life games there to get it. Next map is going to be Bind, which is the map pick for their opponent, Respawn Cats. And we can see here, Respawn Cats actually hasn't dropped a map this entire tournament up until this point. Respawn Cats up 2-0. Respawn Cats up 2-0 against Silly Shooters as well. And these are not easy teams either. Silly Shooters was a team that I think a lot of people were afraid to face off against. Although they do end up getting eliminated in the lower bracket today, so maybe maybe I shouldn't have said anything. So far though, a very, very decent performance from both squads. And I mean, Respawn Cats is a team that I think nobody really expected to be this good initially, but very, very quickly you saw them become a team that you had to be afraid of. Against Silly Shooters on Bind, Angel went 24-12, and then on Icebox, Angel went 27-16. You know, both of these games were yesterday. This series was yesterday. We don't have the stats yet on VLR from today's earlier series that they played because VLR is just not the same it used to be. But in the open qualifiers, wait, Silly Squad? What the? Silly Squad? Those who know. No, but Respawn Cats has been a very, very tough opponent for pretty much every team they faced. Osh has been honestly a little bit hit or miss. A player that I think a lot of I think people in this scene are very aware of in Milk Tea Boards. But a little bit hit or miss. For example, yesterday did not have a very good day. Went overall 22-29 on the day, but the team was there for them. And then sometimes they have really solid performances in a given day. Today was another day so far, at least in today's series that we've seen from them right now, is another day where it's been kind of hit or miss. Very scary map for sure. And I mean, I'm not very scared of very many teams. You know, I say it a lot that, you know, I've said it before. I do genuinely think Alliance Angels in this open qualifier number 4 is the best team. And I do believe that because of everything I've seen. Now, to be fair, there's a lot I haven't seen. Why is Equinox playing? Who the fuck? Never mind. A lot of what I've seen would definitely point me to believe Alliance Angels is one of the better teams in this in this open qualifier. Now the Swiss stage is going to be interesting. Definitely going to be a very, very interesting stage. But I do pretty firmly believe that that's going to be another one where Alliance Angels can look pretty solid. Obviously, you're going up against Shopify Rebellion. You're going up against Wadada. Like, these are two very intense teams. The rest of these teams are also very, very solid. FlyQuest is another terrifying one. I don't know as much about, you know, the rest of these teams, but I've seen a few of them play every now and again. They're also very, very terrifying. So, and then, of course, the teams that made it through close qualifier 3 were also teams that were scary. Alliance Angels did lose to Hikikomori GC 2-0 and then went to fall to Brickville 2-0. Although I do think both of those were just like days that they weren't on. Genuinely, I mean, they were both on the same day, and I just think it wasn't their day. I truly believe that. I think that they are a team that could have made it. They just didn't have as much practice with the team as they would have liked, and you know, it didn't look like they were playing that well or that they were a team who would be seen as the best in the qualifier. But I think had they been given as much time as they have now to prepare with the team, then they probably could have gotten there. And this time they have had time to prepare, and they do look like they're getting there. They've looked very, very good. I watched them play their first series today against Celestial Light. And that first map, they kind of got stomped on. I can't remember the name of the map. The new one. Corrode. They looked very, very bad on Corrode. They got pretty much swamped. And then the next two maps, they proceeded to take pretty dominantly. That map 3, they got up pretty quickly and then kind of threw a little bit in that second half. But did end up winning it. Just two very dominant maps to close out that previous series for them. So they've got a lot of good momentum moving. They've got a lot of good... I just think energy moving, and I think this is a team that should be making it pretty fairly far. I'm gonna run a quick ad break really fast. I meant to do it earlier, I forgot. Just you know, so there's no ads during the next map. But yeah, pretty solid so far. We can. Oh. That was bad timing on the ads, huh? Yikes. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. Okay. We're going to be going into Bind, which, as I said, was the map pick of Respawn Cats. Actually, they might have pinned it. Let me see. They did not. The Pump Squad is ready to hand out the business, I see. Who is the Pump Squad? Why do they keep calling... Never mind. Okay. Is Bind. Alliance Angels are going for the composition we've seen from them many times already. It's that Raze, Deadlock, Brimstone, Viper, and Fade. So solo duelist, double controller. It's a composition many teams run, is that Brimstone Viper. Deadlock, I think, is also another pick. I've seen some teams run Vise, but generally pretty solid team composition there. And as I said earlier, like Razora turns into a different breed. There will be days where Razora just doesn't look good, and then they get on Bind, and she gets on Deadlock, and it's like I'm watching a different player. And we just saw her have a very good game on Haven, and now she's going into Bind. I can only imagine what we're about to see. Meanwhile, over on the side of Respawn Cats, we actually have another pretty interesting team composition with just a Viper as your controller, and they're running. Or sorry, no, they are running double controller. Pickles is on Clove again. Sorry, I don't see Clove as a controller. You don't see Clove very often. Another very aggressive composition they're running, just like they did on Haven. And to be fair, it kind of worked out for them. It got them all the way to that what was that, triple OT. But not quite enough. Not quite enough to get them all the way over. You know, you can kind of run a little bit more aggressive on this map if you want. They do end up starting on offense as well, so that kind of lends its hand to them. We do have Yoru going to be their solo duelist. Yoru works well in binds. I think a lot of people know that. You can get into some pretty good spots with the TP. It's very easy to get past certain defenses when you are playing Yoru. And I do think for Alliance Angels specifically, the way that I've seen them play, I do think Yoru could actually counter them pretty well if Oz is shooting. But that's a big if, because it is Oz that is on Yoru today. Angel has moved over to the initiator role on that Fade, so that's going to be interesting to look at as we do get into the first round. We do see the Leer come out, not the Leer, sorry, Haunt come out into Showers. A bit of an aggressive play here. Enders trying to deny the take of that orb, but it was grabbed and they're out. And that does mean Respawn Cats starts with a little tiny, very minuscule edge. Ooh, Aurelia and Spec are both pushed up. There's no way they expect Oz here, and they don't. Spec does find one onto Angle before falling, but then Oz is able to find two. So off to a good start for Oz. That could be what they need to reactivate themselves, as Bazaar does take control of Hookah here. So free sight has been unlocked. Alliance Angels, something that they do quite often on this map is they play very slowly. They like to play very collected. They're used to teams rotating very frequently in between both sites. So it'll be interesting to see if Respawn Cats doesn't do that. Now, the reason they're used to that is because Alliance Angels is actually really good at preventing not Respawn Cats, their opponents from taking good space early. And so then they have to be willing to wait for those rotates to come through. But here, obviously, they didn't do that. Oz is going to find another one, really heating up with 3. Bizarre, just going to take one out from Hookah. Can Razora find anything before going down? Yep, you can. You can deny Oz a little bit more of that momentum. Find another one, why don't you? Bizarre from Hookah going to take them out. So, although 3 do fall, it's a pistol round. Doesn't matter as much. So, Respawn does get away with the round win. They get the spike down. They kill all of the enemy players. Lots of good money for them. They're going to be able to go into this anti-eco pretty assuredly. And Alliance Angels, meanwhile, going to have to move into an eco to get antied with pretty standard round structure. So far, so good from both teams. And I've said this before, Alliance Angels is just not that good at winning pistols, typically. Not sure why. It's just not their forte, I suppose. And Respawn Cats is going to aggress early into A there. They do manage to get that Gravnet paint shells combo that you'll see Alliance Angels do a lot here. It's something they do very frequently over on that A site especially. Is that combo in particular. And Respawn Cats is actually going to start moving over towards B. Now, it's not a big loss because obviously both of those are the primary regenerative utility pieces for Alliance Angels, although obviously that paint shows you do need to get 2 kills to get back up. Graphinet is a very powerful piece of utility, but again, doesn't matter too much when you also have a fade, right? You also have a pretty similar piece of util in their kit. So Alliance Angels, you can see, this is why they don't rotate too much. And Aurelia is actually able to find one. The Dimensional Drift is being utilized by Respawn Cats here. So despite being against an eco, they're just going to pull it out. They don't care. They want to secure the round as many as they can. They don't want to risk it. They are down, though, a player. Or, well, no, it's tied. 4v4. Not a great start for them, though, is kind of my point. Angle is able to get Razora, though. So player advantage gain for Respawn Cats, 4v3. How does Alliance Angels play this is the question. They do like to go for picks. They do not like just dying to spike, so very good chance here that they end up going for a play as that spike gets a little bit lower on time. Right now, though, they're just holding these angles. Obviously, that angle is being held in U-Haul a little bit more aggressively by Enders to hopefully find something. Is her goal there. Not going to, though. Spike is going to blow up, and all 3 are just going to go ahead and die to it. Angel also dies to it, actually. That's not good for Respawn Cats. That's not what you want to do. They don't lose the gun, but they don't technically lose out on anything, but it's... No, they do lose the gun, actually. They do lose the gun. So not exactly what you want to see, but that's good for Alliance Angels. We do see Respawn Cats going to go for a traditional bonus here. Not going to force up or anything like that, although two of their players did end up buying some of those lighter guns because they had the money. Why not? Alliance Angels is going to be sitting here playing a pretty traditional round for them here. You did see Respawn Cats use that snake bite, that Viper Molly, over towards short to try and ward off any aggressive plays, but Alliance Angels doesn't typically go for those. They're a very site-heavy team in the sense that they really don't like pushing out too much. They really like just playing for their lives and then winning some of those gunfights early. That's something that they thrive on this map. So we'll see if they're able to continue to do that here. And bit of info found. They're pushing these players back. That spike in Angel, that would have been a huge pick there had that been gained. But instead, Angel gets away. But Alliance Angels doesn't take any damage. That's pretty important. So one of their players is one shot, while the rest of their team starts to make their way in towards A. Waiting for the tap of Spike is that paint shells. Oz is able to find some good damage. Tries to pop and swing. Nah, not going to. Zora is going to punish. It's a 4v4. Oh, Lauren, bad timing. Tries to pre-aim, gets punished. Pickle's able to take them out. Zora does trade it back, though. So 3v3 on this retake. Beck has a good flank coming here. Doesn't get taken out either, and it actually puts Bazaar into an uncomfortable position where they get taken out. Angel is able to trade off Aurelia. Zora going to ult here just to secure it. And they're going to find the 4th, and the 5th is about to come. Zora gets an ace as they take the full buy against that bonus. So that's a big round. Huge ace from Zora. It's a, you know, it's against a bonus, so there's an asterisk on it, but still, Respawn Cats did have a decent amount of guns to work with there, so that's not an easy feat for Zora to get that, that ace there. Was able to find a good few players off guard and played with the team well. Unfortunately, though, Alliance did end up losing 3 out of the 5 of their players, so only 2 out of the 5 remain with some of those guns. So you can see them forcing here. So we got a Stinger, we got a Judge, we got a Bulldog in play for them. Meanwhile, Respawn Cats is going to be on a full buy. So it's going to be a little bit of a tough round for them to convert. They do want to, though. They invested a lot of eco into it. So they're not looking to lose it and throw it away for some eco. They're not wanting to risk that. So they do really want this round. What an awkward situation. Spec was pushing up towards short. Bazaar was not expecting such a bizarre scenario. As they pushed up towards short, but they do end up getting the kill. So 5v4 for Respawn Cats, as the health is a little bit low there for Bazaar. Not going to be enough to take them out, and Alliance Angels just going to continue to do what they always do. Let's keep 2 on either side. They don't rotate. That is not something that they do unless they are assured of where the team is going. Resort is able to take out Pickles there. That's a big pick. Evens it out, and Zora doesn't even take that much damage. In fact, takes less than Bazaar did to get theirs, so it's actually a good trade in favor of Alliance here when you account for health. Haunts did not get destroyed. Completely caught them out there in hookah. Oh, Zora punished there. Aurelia could get shot in the back here if they're not careful. Ender's is going to take it Oz to keep it close. Yep, and that is exactly what... No, it's not. Ender's is able to keep it alive. They saved Aurelia there to keep it in a 1v1. Big kill there from Enders because as the trades come through, it's a 1v1. Aurelia does get very low on HP. Time is ticking. You're going to just have to plant for CT here, which is exactly what they do. Now, Aurelia will have the opportunity to pick up a gun here as they rotate over, and they are going to want to go through CT, so this is going to be a CT battle as Angle prepares. Coming up into heaven. Now, Aurelia is going to want to pick up speed a little bit. Let's hope they choose not to do it at the wrong time. All right, swing heaven. Neither player. Head on crosshair on head. Oh, big whiff there from Aurelia. They had that first shot opportunity and they missed it. Angle going to punish. So that's a massive loss for Alliance Angels, who put a lot of money into that round. They did not have good buys going into it, but they did put a decent amount of eco. They forced pretty hard. So they did want it and didn't get it. So they are going to be forced to take a half buy eco round. Meanwhile, Respawn Cats, yeah, sure, it was expensive for them as well. They did lose all but one of their players. They did get the spike down, though, and they do have money with which to buy. So does end up paying off worse, of course, for Angels, who lost the round. So that's pretty much what you'd expect. It's not as far away as you'd think. Angels do have some guns to work with here. And Ender's nice headshot there onto Oz. Just going to shut them down. So now it's a 5v4. And the Alliance Angels do have quite a bit to work with now. So we do see them continuing to want to fight for more. Can't get anything, but they also don't lose anything. That's pretty important there. Do some good chip damage and get away. Although Lauren will not be able to do the same, and Enders will fail to do so again as Bazaar will fall. Spec going to come through the TP with Aurelia. Able to find one, but they both die for it. Aurelia is the only player left alive for Alliance Angels. Bit messy there, but that's Spike actually. Aurelia does have Spike in hands here. which does make this quite winnable. Oh my god, just completely cut off.
Spike down A. 30 seconds left.
Worried that they might be in this cage. They're not. Not sure where this final player is playing from. Now they know. Spike has been grabbed. It's bizarre. Head tapped through the wall. Unfortunate there. Gets it, but through the wall. I think both players actually got head tapped through the wall, so... Spike's playing a triple. They know. They spray through. Aurelia does get some good ship damage. Oh! And I'm not sure what Bizarre was expecting there. I guess they had expected Aurelia to push in to that lamps there, but that's a huge win for Alliance Angels, who came into this on an eco. So although they lose a round that they invested quite a bit into, they take an eco to get away with it, messing around a little bit. Clown emoji, pull out the phone. Send the clip in to be posted on the Project Alliance Twitter channel. Twitter feed. And they get away. So 2-3. Going to be the score. So far, pretty equal, I think, for both teams. I think we're seeing a lot of what we saw in Haven, where one team kind of gets there and then the other just kind of shuts it down. Lions Angels is still playing how I've seen them play successfully many a time, where they don't rotate too much. And I do think that will pay off eventually. I think Respawn Cats has just been doing a really good job of not giving into it too much. I think Alliance Angels had a lot of success with this defensive setup, or has a lot of success with this defensive setup, because of the fact that the enemy team will give them free picks. Like that. Now, of course, it's an eco. I won't read too much into it. That's unfortunate. Oh, no. Rizora should have traded that, but can't. Oz does take some more damage from the paint shells, but again, can't do anything with it. Somehow, someway, Oz stays alive and could be a very damaging force here. Meanwhile, besides in the hands of Respawn Cats, Oz has been inserted and has done a really good job of just getting these players off of that B site. They're just going to go through TP here. All four of them. They don't care. Let's just go. That lurk that was coming into CT means nothing now. Smoke has been placed, of course. But it's only a clove smoke. Running double controller, but it's a clove, so that smoke's about to drop. Out comes Enders, but Pickles can't save Angel in time. Pickles will fall after finding the kill. Eventually, some trades do come through. Respawn Cats make it expensive. More than the majority of those players do fall for Alliance Angels, but they do find some kills. Both ults end up getting up for the remaining players. So it's going to be 3 ults into the next round. 3-3 half. Or sorry, 3-3 is the scoreline in this half. There you go. That's what I meant to say. I didn't complete it. Lauren found a kill finally, so that's also good. So 3-3. Oh my god. 5 ultimates available for Respawn Cats, though. Viper's Pit. Oh my god. You have Nightfall, you have Dimensional Drift, you have Neural Theft, you have Viper's Pit, you have Resurrection. Or Self-Resurrection. I don't remember the name of the ultimate, I'm gonna be honest. Been a minute. So this is gonna be a very ult-heavy round, and we already see Dimensional Drift coming out. Not a bait. Obviously, as always, Alliance Angels very tentative to rotate here. Spec just gets a free kill onto Oz. Hey, hand it to us. That ult was used in Tree. Does stall it out a decent amount, and Angle is going to be taken out by Lauren. So 4v3. Only one player on site here. Eventually just going to get spammed out is Lauren. Enders has managed to make her way into back site. Not going to get punished quickly enough, so it's still maintained in a 2v2. Bad ult there. The Annihilation's not going to find anything. They're going to wait out this Rizora. Just a really depressing mistake there for Rizora to make. Leaves it in the hands of Aurelia. Not going to do it. So what could have been pretty decent retake there, I think completely falls because of that mistake from Rizora. I'm not gonna lie. That's a huge round losing mistake there, but yeah, it was expensive for both teams, okay? 3 ults invested from Respawn Cats. 2 ults invested for Alliance. So 1 ult for Alliance is that Viper's Pit. Looks like it may just be used insta in short. Never mind, they're backing up towards Lamps. In towards U-Haul. Meanwhile, Respawn Cats has a Viper's Pit as well, and a Neural Theft. We actually do see Aurelia getting in position to potentially use a Viper's Pit. Spec's caught out by the Haunts very early on. Ooh, head tap onto Bazaar, but Stinger versus Phantom. Phantom Spray just going to win that one from that range in particular. So big pick there for Respawn Cats to open it up in towards this B site. Neural Theft going to be utilized. Huge ult. They just stay stationary in tree. I lied, they're TPing. Unbeknownst to them, Alliance Angels did rotate back to A very quickly though. Now, Spike is actually still there in tree. I'm so sorry. It's going to be B site plant. As there's 2 players remaining there without going through TP. It was a massive win.
There. One enemy
I don't want to talk about it. Okay. I'm hiccuping. In my defense, I was under anesthesia earlier today. And apparently that does that to you, which I didn't know until today. Okay, Nitz is gonna... Okay, Nitz is gonna take a timeout. Not sure what all there is to talk about here. Oh my god. Okay, so obviously they did get baited out pretty quickly there. They did not take into account all player positions. Now, obviously they heard 3 TPs and thought maybe the other 2 players hadn't ever... Oh my god, I'm gonna kill somebody. Okay, sorry. Maybe the other 2 players hadn't ever rotated. Oh. Okay, let's try this again. It did not work. Okay. So, Respawn Cats is going to push up in towards what is a Viper's Pit. Actually may spray through and get Spec here. Never mind, they back out. I'm going to kill somebody. I'm just kidding. 3v4. Aurelia crosses here to try... Okay, I'm going to get water. I'll be right back.
down. 30 seconds left. Spike planted. Holiday. 3 down. One enemy remaining.
All right, I did not see what happened. What the hell? Finally, he's gone? Your messages don't delete, bro. Okay, I think I've dealt with them. Anyways, we're up 4-5. Can you... Chrissy's not a mod. There's only 2 mods in this chat. Well, actually, there's technically 3, but one of them doesn't watch my streams anymore. Anyways. Get this round off to a bang, as Oz immediately takes out Spec, pushing in towards Tree, but Aurelia does trade it back. It does only leave 1 player on B here, and at a certain point, I would expect Respawn Cats to understand that Alliance Angels has been doing just 2 players on the B quite frequently. Zar takes out Enders, and that lurk paying off very nicely. A trade attempts to come through from Azora, but it won't. It does get a wallbang headshot. Not going to be enough to kill. Angle's trying to lurk into showers. Got off guard, so a trade does come through. So Razora, 666, does find a kill onto Angle. It's now going to be that 3v3, and health is very low for Bazaar, who earlier found that pick and attempted to get traded. Ooh, you are stuck here.
Spike planted.
Gripped and grabbed, but Aurelia gets away. Snakebite could have come in earlier. Could have been a good tandem play, but it doesn't. Pickle's trying to take control of Elbow and will. Aurelia falls, and so does Lauren. And Razora's Annihilate completely missed the mark. Able to take out Pickles. Viper's Pit is an option for some reason, swapping through all of the available guns in her hotbar, and Razora's punished. Just wanted to take a look at the different skins she had equipped, I suppose, but that is not going to be an option here to survive. Now, I will say this is not a good look so far, and the main reason I say that for Alliance Angels is they're very good on defense. Very, very good defensive team is how I've seen them play. Their offense tends to be the weaker side for them. So I am a little worried about how they'll fare, especially if they can't get 2 more rounds here, especially on what is typically a defense-sided map. It's, you know, it's a 2-site map. Those are almost always going to be defense-sided. It's very hard to make an offense-sided 2-site map. Although the devs tried really hard with Corrode and Bind, actually. It's going to be Respawned just sitting over in towards this A lobby side. And Alliance Angels have taken so much space. It's unbelievable, actually, how much space they've managed to take. And they see this trip here that's watching market, and they notice nobody's here. So this trip's kind of useless. Oh, Aurelia caught Bazaar off guard. It didn't matter. And although Alliance Angels had such good positioning on such an aggressive play, they get nothing out of it. They get 1. Bazaar falls. A little too antsy there with the feet. Angel is down to just 1 shot. Gonna plant for CT, though. They know where these players are. Whiff. Big whiff from Oz is going to be enough for Alliance Angels to take back control. And a 4-6 round differential will play right into their hand. They came into this, no guns available. Had to play aggressive, managed to get a gun off of it. Now Enders has it. Headshot through the wall. Spike is tapped. Angle going to finish off Enders. No need to swing any further, and Angel will do the rest. Spec going to fall. It's over. 4-7, so 1 more round in the half, and Respawn Cats has taken the lead going into the next half. The question is, how big will that lead get? 1 round away from an 8-4. Alliance Angels 1 round away from a 5-7 to try and make it a little easier for them to come back. Now, I will say, Respawn Cats running a much more offense-sided team comp here. You've got that Clove. That's immediately going to make it offense-sided, no matter what type of other agents you have in tow. And when you're running a Yoru, you're definitely running more offense-sided. Although Yoru is good for, you know, quick retakes on defense, he's a very execute-heavy agent. So whether it be for those retakes, but especially when you're trying to aggress into sight on offense, that's when you're going to find the most value out of him. And Respawn Cats isn't going to get that here when they are on defense.
Toxin screen down.
Now, a lot of presence was shown on A, and off of that, that barrier mesh was thrown over in towards that showers to give Alliance Angels a little bit of security. It was broken, and off of that, Alliance Angels does end up rotating Aurelia over to A, which leaves just one player, Spec, the IGL, alone on B in towards that teleporter cubby. And although I will say Respawn Cats isn't necessarily anticipating an A hit yet, we do see that Spec has to TP out of there because they did get pushed
30
back
seconds left.
by some of that fade util. Spike is actually still leaning towards A, so although B has almost entirely been given, basically handed to Respawn Cats, the two remaining players die who were just hesitating near short. And that's a huge 2 kills for Alliance Angels. Spike is in their hands. Angel trying to make something happen here in through CT. Aurelia has just not been able to find it today. Big orbital strike to deny a little bit of extra push there. Spec tries to take an angle. There's just no chance. And crouch spray always does it. And Lauren's gonna finish off us. And that's gonna be 5-7 at the half. So not an amazing half, especially for what we typically see from the Angels. But I just sneezed really hard. That actually hurt really bad. But it is a good opportunity here for Alliance Angels, as they do come into it not down, 4 rounds. Instead, it's just down 2. So there's an opportunity here if they get this pistol. It's a big if. They don't like to win pistols, it seems. Looks like they're going to default just a tiny bit. Defaulting on bind is like not necessarily really that much of a thing because it's just so easy for the offense to rotate through those, short entrances. But here's what they're going for here. Boss is in this corner, getting spammed out there. TP out. Pickles alone. Beck gets the kill. Swing comes out from Angel, sorry. And they're going to find both. So that's actually a really bad trade-off there for Alliance Angels. Unless you do consider the fact that Oz and Angel are both low on HP. And then maybe it lends its favor a little bit more to you. The Angels do decide they're going to aggress through short here to get all of their players ready to do so. And we're going to see this come through. Anders, immediate, just head tap through the wall. Oz goes down. Definitely helped by the fact that they were down 50 HP going into that engagement. From the earlier engagement, TP is going to be taken. Don't blame him. In fact, probably the smart decision here. Anders is going to fall in the process. Which does mean player advantage still in the hands of Respawn Cats. And they have rotated rather quickly, so Alliance Angels does have a bit to work with here. That Molly does do a good job of warding them off in time to get that spike down. This is a really weird angle that both are holding. Lauren's jiggle peeking here would definitely just get shot in the head first as Aurelia holds their back. That's been made.
Last player standing.
The low HP on Angel is taken advantage of, but Bazaar is ready. The shots are good. 2 players fall, and that pistol will not be given to the Alliance Angels. So they typically don't win pistol, and they don't here. Unfortunately, as it would have been enough to most likely, go into anti-eco and tie it up. Not going to happen here. Bit unfortunate, but there's still a chance for them to bounce back here. So time will begin to tick down. Anti-eco is going to be coming through from Respawn Cats. Alliance Angels is no stranger to comeback wins. They've done it quite a bit already in this tournament. So I wouldn't be too worried here for them. Respawn Cats, on the other hand, does need to worry about getting come back on. Oh. Does need to worry about Alliance coming back, as it is something that they are prone to do. Us trying to deny that right off the bat. Not going to win an eco here. Leave his something along the lines of what they said there. They get that pick with the Outlaw, and Rosora will fall. One of the better players for the Angels today. 4v5 now. As we do see the Alliance Angels decide, let's take it towards tree. And they walk up. TP cubby cleared. Quick little haunt gonna be sent through, taken out. Cam is on site. Looks like TP might be taken here. They might want to join Aurelia. Although Aurelia hasn't really found any space, so there's not a whole lot of incentive to do that. They just could. The haunt doesn't find anything from on top of this site. Angle coming in from elbow, making sure nobody pushes. And there you go. Now the TP is going to come through as Os falls. Sorry, Os causes Aurelia to fall with the Outlaw. Can't find anything else. Pickles gonna have to do it alone. Finds two. Lauren gets the spike down. All right, good eco. That's all you need. And they're gonna fall right after that as Bazaar just spams them out with the Sheriff through triple. So, big plant there for Alliance Angels to make it an okay eco. As they body spray their own teammate. Or maybe they might have just been trying to pay respects and their left click got stuck or something. I don't know. 9-5. So not the best position to be in if you are Alliance Angels. Down 4. That's something they avoided by winning that last round of the previous half. Is being down 4 rounds. Instead, just down 2. But now they're down 4. As Respawn Cats have climbed their way back. But it is now a full buy against that bonus. Now is when the Angels tend to strike. And so we're going to see if they can on this round in particular. Ooh, good Outlaw shot. Completely misses the head, and you need to get another one off to get the kill. Can't in time. Gonna die there is Oz. Pickles does trade it back onto Enders, but it is a 4v4. So spike goes down, and of course trades favor the offense, as now you see how long the defense has to take to rotate over. They can't do any more denial. That means that we get Alliance Angels setting up at Pented Post Plant. Pickles going to trigger the trip. Spec swings. Bazaar falls. Rizora on bench here could find something. Angel going to find one. Rizora, oh, very tempted to swing. Not gonna find it. More worried about the haunt. Gets swung. Good timing from Angel. Molly gonna come out here. Gonna have to get off that spike. Or you could just die to it. Why not? Could just go for it. Spec does get 3 in that round. Very good round for Spec to get them that round. It's expensive. They do lose the majority of their players, so they're not going to have the best eco moving forward. In fact, Aurelia, look at that eco. Only 1,900 credits. Does get bought, though, so all players will have guns on both sides. Oz actually has picked up the Operator. Now, I will say, Alliance Angels is a little bit in a decent spot there with Oz having the op, because Oz has not had the best aim today, so there's a chance here that we can get away with it. So Alliance Angels will be happy with it. Enders is going to be on that judge, so not quite a full buy, but some would consider it. At least a part of it. And I said that aim not always there. The op misses and misses again. TP out. Although the grab net does actually end up catching one of their own, as Enders does get caught in Rezora's grab net. Wouldn't have mattered. Nobody's in U-Haul anymore. And they're definitely going to be aware that that judge is a potential possibility. Spike still hasn't gone down. Angels still figuring out how they want to play this. They want to get a little more util out of the hands of their opponent first. Smoke falls and showers. What are we going to get? Spec waiting for the right time to swing. Gonna get 1 and then 2. Looking for more. Just gonna pull out the ultimate instead. The trail going to be followed there. Angel very caught out in that back of the site. Very low on HP. And Spec perfectly placed. Shot through triple. Going to find the kill. It's a 2v5 here. At this point, Respawn Cats probably going to want to look to save. Maybe see if they can get a pick with the op or 2 maybe, and then get out of there. Angle doing the same, but no point in staying much longer. You get out of there while you can. So Spec going to maintain all of their players, assuming they don't die, trying to hunt down these 2 players. And that is a very decisive round win. That's exactly what the Angels needed. Perfectly timed everything. You see, you saw Respawn Cats make a massive mistake there in how they played that showers hold, and that just gave Spec the round, basically. Spec was able to swing out, take out that Viper, take out Bazaar, and then, well, well, Pickles couldn't quite keep them alive in time and ended up getting punished for failing to do so. And from there, it was just in the hands of the Alliance Angels. So they're now within 2 of tying it up once again, just like they were coming into the half, except now they're doing it off of 2 decisive buy round wins. Now, Oz does take the operator into this round, so that is something to note. Now, I did note it going into the previous round. AIM hasn't been there, and it wasn't there in the previous round. So that is kind of a good thing here for Alliance Angels if they can capitalize on that. Although it's okay for them right now. They're not hitting into the side of the site, or side of the map rather, where Oz is positioned. Oz is going to be positioned in towards that short cubby on A, but meanwhile, Alliance Angels is going to be testing their luck towards B. They found a Cypher trip, going to take it out. Cypher Cam still sitting on this B site, keeping watch. Meanwhile, Bazaar also keeping watch, kind of peeking from that cubby. The operator does end up coming out. TP right out of there. Ooh, huge pick from Bazaar with the Sheriff. That's going to be big. Spike does get to go down. Free Spike plant. And Angle chooses perfect timing to swing, seeing from the cam where they are, and no time to even think about reacting. Gonna get shot here. No, really gets away. Don't think they expect one from long here, so they will probably find themselves dead pretty soon here. And they will right here. They will right here. Okay, Angel, you could have sped it up a little bit. Those lights come off. So, not the best way to continue carrying momentum for the Alliance Angels. Now, I will say 2 key points. Oz continued to show that they're not always going to be that snazzy with the aim. And Alliance Angels was in a decent spot there. They just didn't play it well. There was one key mistake that lost them that round. It wasn't like they went into it completely unprepared and got outmatched, right? So that was a round that they could have won had one single break in the timeline been just a little different. So there's an alternate universe when they win most of the other interactions there. So in that regard, feel a little bit better. You can feel a little bit better. Bazaar spotted there, Jiggle peeking through CT, and Ender's deciding how we do this. They are going to use their tandem combo into backside. Huge trip there. Gonna find something. Meanwhile, counter it. Orbital Strike comes out. Take out Angle. Free kill there. No more Cypher on site. That's the key player that lost Alliance Angels the round in the previous round, because Angle was able to play that very, very well. Not going to have the opportunity to do so now. Spike is down. Time to play time. Your clone going to be watched just a little bit here by Spec. Huge kill there. Looking for more. Operator going to be too good, though. Oz at a close range. Surely you can't miss that. And they don't. Pickle's going to die. Stuck in the grab net and the incendiary. Beautiful combination of utility there, and Aurelia also going to take them out. It's 8-10. Now, one thing I will say is Alliance Angels has so much post-plant util. You have paint shells, is a molly. You have Gravnet, can lock them down to use potentially paint shells, or snake bite, or incendiary. 3 different mollies that can be utilized, especially in combo with that Gravnet. Not to mention, you've got quite a bit of post-plant utility in Fade's hands to help keep info gathering as that spike is being diffused. Showstopper ultimate's a possibility. What's the word I'm looking for? Annihilate's a possibility. That Deadlock ultimate. Orbital Strike is a possibility, right? So much post-plant utility. What a huge, huge kill there from Angel. And that's going to be massive in the sense that Respawn Cats just basically won the round. They find 2 more for free. The only 2 remaining players are sitting there in showers. Spec and Aurelia. Aurelia pushes out. Getting away there. Maybe it's time to save. Taking out that showstopper was the round in the hands of Respawn Cats, almost assuredly. And it does mean Alliance Angels will have to make another close comeback here. Saw them do it before. We've seen them do it many a time before. Seen them go 13-11 before. We've seen them after being down quite a few rounds. Earlier today even. It was 8-12 in the previous map, right? They took it to overtime and they won it. Sure, it went triple OT, but they got there. So we know Alliance Angels is capable of making stuff happen in the way of comebacks. But keep in mind, this is Respawn Cat's map pick, so Alliance Angels not taking this dominantly should not be a complete shocker, but nobody wants to make it to this point and then find out you're going to have to play tomorrow because you couldn't close it out in the second series of the day. And I think both of these teams know that. Both of these teams don't want that possibility. Nitsu, Alliance Angels coach, going to call that timeout, probably screaming at his players. Kind of gets a little angry sometimes. Definitely a good reason to call it. Again, you're going to have to make a comeback happen. I don't question the decision. They've been doing a really good job, I think, Alliance Angels have, of finding some of that early contact, that early info they're good at getting. Alliance Angels thrive very much so on early picks. Once they have an early pick or two, they know exactly how to play off of that. The mid-round calling from spec is beautiful. It's just getting to that point that they sometimes struggle with. They lost that previous round simply because that showstopper just got completely denied. And after that, the rest of the players that were expecting to just be able to flow right onto the site because there was going to be a player down off of that showstopper couldn't, because that player wasn't down off of that showstopper and a massive punish came through. Alliance Angels do have that Annihilate, but Respawn Cats have 3 ultimates. They've got the Viper's Pit, which they have not used yet. In fact, I think we've only seen 1 Viper's Pit this entire game so far. I could be wrong about that. But Viper's Pit has not been utilized yet. Clove can always revive themselves. And Yoru has that Dimensional Drift. It is a position you don't really want to be in here. And the Angels are going to try and make their way up towards long. They are caught off guard. Us and Pickles wanted to be a bit more aggressive, playing out of hookah. Punished. Us just falls. Huge 5v4 now. So that Dimensional Drift no longer going to be an option to help aid in a retake of sorts. So it's going to be 5v4. Annihilate's still there. They know that, you know, they know that Oz was not working alone. I keep wanting to call Oz Enders because I'm seeing Enders on Yoru. Aurelia trying to make a little bit of magic happen towards short. Site's going to be taken. There is a player in hookah. They seem to be aware, right? They know it was Clove. I think they should have seen and been aware that it was Clove. So they're not quite sure where Clove could be, and they haven't cleared hookah yet. Hence why they smoked it off, because they wanted to flood out of showers. Aurelia did end up taking TP, so there's potential here. Angel, though, nice flank over through Fountain. Gonna find something good. Spec is able to take out Pickles in hookah, who's now gonna ult and flood out here with the rest of the team. Bazaar, huge kills. This could be a massive retake here.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
My ultimate is ready.
Oh! And Aurelia's lineup works wonders. Angel, who just wanted to get it to half and then take the fight, couldn't. And the snake bite ends up winning them the round. That's what I'm talking about with this post-plant util. If it comes down to it, the util is going to win them the round. So 9-11 now the scoreline. Never forget. We do have a Viper's Pit available for both sides. Dimensional Drift is in the hands of Respawn Cats still because Us died really early on in the previous round, didn't get the chance to use it. I will say, this is a little bit different from Alliance Angels. Usually you see one of their players dropping, 20, 30 kills. This round, they're all pretty equal in their performance, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. It's clearly not enough to keep them in the lead up until this point, but it could be enough because it means that if any of their players get left alone in those situations where it's just them and a few other players, they may be able to handle themselves like Aurelia did there in that 1v2. That Snakebite ended up winning out the round just barely. Speaking of this Viper's Pit I was talking about earlier, one has been used over on B. Meanwhile, that Nightfall has gotten up for the Alliance Angels. It actually looks like they want to hit into the Viper's Pit, which Not quite sure how I feel about that. Aurelia, who's kind of still lurking over towards that A short, would have to worry about that flank coming through, which I don't think they do. Bazaar takes at Enders off of that Nightfall coming out. Gonna take out Lauren as well. Spec does find a kill, taking out Bazaar, who dies. Making it a 3v3. Oss is alone on this site. Dimensional Drift. I want to get out of here. Get some good info. Viper's Pit comes out from the opposing team now, Alliance Angels. So they're going to get that spike down pretty assuredly. Coming out of ult is Oss. Looking to maybe find a kill or two themselves. Trying to sneak over onto this box. Well done. Maybe get into hookah. Oh, they're sneaking out from behind. Good pick there on a reloading Spec. And so falls Razor. It's down to Aurelia in 1v2. And they've done it. They've got the 3K. Aurelia playing around the Viper's Pit, ring around the Rosie, shorty kill, and then just take out the 2 remaining defenders. Found themselves right where Oz found themselves to find those nice kills onto the defenders of the Spike. And you see Aurelia just wrap around, same spot, and find the final 2. Another beautiful clutch, again, using that post-plant util. That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? None of these players are outperforming each other that much, by that much. And that means when they're left in those positions where one of them has to perform, they're all playing well enough that they can. And especially when Aurelia can just play around that Viper's util. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she does it there. There's going to be a 10-11 scoreline now. As Alliance Angels, coming out of that pivotal timeout, continue to perform exactly how they need to. Showstopper gets 2 ult points away. There's a Neural Theft and a Nightfall in the hands of Respawn Cats. No ultimates available for the Alliance Angels. So ultimate economy not in the hands of the Angels right now. But they are getting it back up there. Time to work with. 1 minute to try and make something happen in this round. I believe their goal should just be to get some of these ultimates utilized from their opponent and then try and play for OT. If I'm looking for like a best case scenario in a worst case scenario situation, that's what I'm looking for. Obviously, I want them to win. Spec coming down long here. Not going to find anything. Alliance Angels able to come in towards A. Oss walled off. Going to have to play with the judge now. Probably going to be able to get a good kill here at some point. Pickles does take out Razora. Enders trades it off, though. That Showers push kind of just goes the way of the Angels there. Oh, and Oss doesn't find anything. I would have expected them to try and take out the planner, but they didn't do that. Enders once again dies while using the ult, but gets it off this time first. An Angel will fall. It's a 1v3 for Angle. Uses the Neural Theft. Really trying to win this round, but only 1 HP. And a dream. Aurelia, hoping, praying they get pushed into here. Holding out that shorty. An Angle. And it just died to the Spike. Spectre Intel. Almost found a pick. Not going to. An Angle will fall. It's 11-11. Tied game. As we move further towards a potential Alliance Angels qualification. Respawn Cats. Their upper bracket run on the line. Now, it's upper bracket. It's an upper bracket qualifier. You lose, you go down to the lowers. You get another chance. You don't want to have to make another chance happen. You don't want to have to be in that position. Neither of these teams do. But the Angels could put their opponent in that position right now. They are on map point. Two rounds away from a victory for either team. And another aggressive play out of Hookah. This time it's a little bit better red. Razor waiting. Gonna take out Oss and Bazaar and Angle. None of them going to find anything. As we see the site just be taken for free. And Spec will take that spike and plant it down. Razor on for the ace. Not positioned well for it. Probably won't get it. We're not too worried about that. Guardian in the hand of Angle. Angel. Oh my god, I'm gonna keep doing that. What can they make happen? I said it before, Razor turns into a different beast on this map. Spec gonna take out Pickles. 1v4 for Angel. Can you just get one? You can. Can you get any more? Ult is an option. Probably not gonna want to use it here unless it comes down to potentially good situation to use it, and it's not going to, as Enders just denies Angel any further contact. So map point and series point for Alliance Angels here, as they are one round away from qualifying for the Swiss stage of the 2025 VCT Game Changers North America. One round away from making it that much closer to seeing the main event. And Angel has been putting on a show just like they did on Haven, but the rest of the team not quite able to be there in every position they need to. Meanwhile, Alliance Angels, as I talked about, when one of them needs to be there, they are. And Aurelia has done that twice in this run of wins in these rounds. Now, Respawn Gets hasn't taken any timeouts, and I want to point that out. It's likely because they don't have a coach to meet with. This is a 5-player, stack the roster, no coach. Alliance Angels finds their first blood in what could be a very pivotal round. Pickles waiting, hoping somebody swings, and Enders does. Gonna get another? Can they? Yes, they can. Can they get another? No. Although Lauren opts for the crouch spray, which could have been risky, they do not fall. So it's evened out. 2 for 1 does get it evened, and Spec is just a sneeze away from death, but it's still gonna be 3v3. Now, Alliance Angels are very split up. Where are they going to go? Is the question.
30 seconds
I want to go B, which would be really good for them. Respawn Cat's very separated here. Orbital Strike, an option to help take sight. And it will be to use an elbow. They know the player's back sight potentially. Spec on 3 HP is the one to find the kill onto Angle. Finally goes down. But Lauren plants the spike and takes out Bazaar. 1 kill away from qualifying for Swiss stage. Lauren jumps across, able to get away. Both players have mollies with which to work to play post plant. And Oz knows it. You need to get rid of them. Here's Aurelia trying to back away. Aurelia opts to use the snake bite to ward off Oz. Lauren dies. Oz needs a huge clutch here. Look to half. Look for the kill. And they do! And Alliance Angels was 1 kill away from victory, and they throw it. It's going to overtime.
Switching sides.
A massive win there for Respawn Cats and the Alliance Angels fall. We switch sides. Alliance Angels now on the side that I thought would favor them, but the offense-sided comp that Respawn Cats ended up running worked out for them on offense, did not work out for them on defense. So now that they're back on offense, this should be a round they can take. I'm hiccuping again. Okay, it's not gonna go away. We're just gonna deal with it. Spec takes out us. 5v4. Oh my god. Aurelia able to take out Pickles, who was trying to find something down long. Spikes in the hands of Alliance Angels as Spec takes out their counterpart, the Fade in Angel. And now it's a 2v5. Remember, this is the half that both teams did better on, is the offense. And now Cats is on their offense. Respawn Cats needs this round to secure a good possibility at winning this overtime. And it's not looking good. Importantly, not an elimination match. You can let go, Respawn Cats. You can let the round go. You don't need this series. You can win in the lower bracket. And they lose the round. Spec going to get 3 kills on the round. Get that ult up. Why not use it there? 13-12. 1 round away. Once again, map point and series point. And qualification point. 1 round away. Alliance Angels. It's 1 more round to take it all. And Spec, IGL, continues to be a star on the team, leading the team in frags. Meanwhile, like I said earlier, Os on that Yoru needed to be doing more for Respawn Cats and just hasn't quite been able to. Trying to do something there. A little bit of damage. TP's out. Not going to find anything else. Pickles, now the one with the op. Can't find anything. Oz gets pushed out of U-Haul. Sight's been taken. Flash goes through, off of the clone. Can't do anything about it. Spec runs away into showers. Oz trying to do something. Gets stunned. Spec peeks. Gets the kill with a headshot. Makes it look snazzy. Operator can't find anything from Pickles. It's a 5v4. Time's still ticking. You gotta retake. You guys have 4 here. You gotta go. Rizora on the spike, can't find anything. Post-playing util still in tandem. We've got the incendiary, we have the snake bite. Aurelia and Enders each find a kill. Bazaar takes out Spec, it's a 2v3. Can you retake? Incendiary comes through, no chance to defuse. Can't even get it halved. Enders takes out Angel, Enders takes out Bazaar, and the Alliance Angels make it to Swiss stage. And they have made it finally through the open qualifiers, and they will be in the Swiss stage of the 2025 VCT North America Game Changers. Absolutely insane performance from Alliance Angels. Back-to-back overtime games to finish it off in the second series. And although Respawn Cats tried their hardest, it just didn't perform. When you've got Rizora and Spec and Enders on the same team, there's nothing you can do. And when you've got a player like Lauren who can clutch any round, a player like Aurelia who can clutch any round, there's nothing you can do. Anyways, I was under anesthesia like 5 hours ago. So I'm gonna go and sleep. Maybe not sleep, but I need to go. And also my throat is dying. So I'm gonna go. Huge W though. I'm very, very excited. Massive win. Swiss stage starts July 28th. I don't know when the first games will be, but that's where it's going to be. And I will try to be here. I will be here, most likely. I'll try my hardest. Other than that, I'll see you guys whenever I see you. I'll probably stream tomorrow, Horror Night, if you want to watch that. Exclamation point Discord in chat if you'd like to join the Discord. And if you're a subscriber, you can go there to help recommend charities, or sorry, vote on charities that we will end up picking for the next month to donate to. You also get access to a private chat with me. Anyways, other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye. Goodbye.